I guess I was suggesting that before the internet was burdened with saving the world economy, it was connecting people in really interesting ways. That the tendency of the internet was to create small pockets of weird conversations. This is what Usenet, the old text-based bulletin boards, were about. You would find people who you could go deep into your area with. And as the net became commercial and social media platforms dominated, it became much more about each individual speaking to the entire internet at once. So if you're speaking to everyone at once, you can't be weird. You've got to be as mainstream as possible, and you end up reducing the content really to sex, violence, fascism, things that are easy. Right. The way to encourage weird is to find ways, even in your business, to find ways to be massively profitable that don't depend on growth. And the sad thing is, most even educated business people don't understand what I just said. They actually don't understand it. They don't understand, well, how could I make massive profits without growth? And it's like, because the way you'll make profits is through the operation of your business will generate revenue, right? And that revenue might be huge. So now you're no longer thinking about how am I going to sell my business to a group of financiers? How am I going to make money for venture capitalists? You're thinking, no, how am I going to make money for myself, right? For my people I'm working with. And you can get so immensely wealthy, but that's wealth that's unavailable to them. So the only way they know how to make wealth now is by sacrificing their company, by sacrificing what they make to the venture capitalists the way a restaurant sacrifices its business to the mob. Right? The mob comes in, they don't care about it. It's a front for something else, for money laundering. And as people, particularly in technology, become familiar with the idea of creating a business that generates revenue in a sustainable way, they're going to unlock such prosperity, but that will allow for weirdness. Right? Weirdness comes from getting deep into what you do. A restaurant can be weird. A food brand can be weird because it has deep competence. What do? We make bicycles. I really love bicycles. You like bicycles a lot, don't you? Yeah, I'm a bicycle nerd. I'm weird. And that's beautiful. That's what you want. What do you want to do? Go to bed with a flat person or somebody who's weird and loves their thing? Oh, that's my honey. She loves bicycles. Well, I feel like I've changed from an agent of change to an agent of care. Because we're dying, right? It's okay. It's okay. We screwed this up. We're dying, right? We're dying. And even if you don't believe the whole planet is dying, you're gonna die. We're all gonna die, right? So once you accept either that the civilization is dying or that you as an individual are dying, what do? You move into palliative care, is what we call it. You make the patient comfortable as possible as they're going to die. And what does that mean for us as a civilization is, if we know we're going to die, can we finally stop? Can we finally just care for each other? Can we take the moment? Okay, who knows how long even humanity has. The way the environment works is we can hit tipping points and things can flip very rapidly. You kill all the bees and boom, we get another couple of years and we die, right? You change the ocean, life change, you change the environment, it can flip very quickly. So if you know it, either if you accept that we're going to die as a civilization, or if you can accept that you're going to die at the end of your life, right? And I know not everyone accepts that. A lot of people think something that Elon's going to come up with something and they get to live forever. But if you can accept that everything changes even,
Yeah.
then the only thing left to do is to turn to other people and care for them. And you can use technology, you can use communication, you can still make money, you can still have fun. It's all those things happen. Start thinking about the present when you're actually alive. How can we innovate by thinking about the present?
Yeah.
How can you innovate by thinking about the future? The way you innovate in the present is this doesn't feel right, does it? No. Ooh, look at this. Look at these children who are going into caves to get the rare earth metals so we can do this interview on these digital technologies. And not everyone, no judgment. I feel bad about sending children into caves at gunpoint to get the cobalt to make this interview possible. So I feel motivated to innovate the extraction and production of resource metals so I don't feel this guilt and shame in this moment. I mean, people don't want to hear it, but what inspires me is connection with other people, is dance, is sex, retrieval of plant medicines that are helping people relax and connect and think in old ways. I'm very impressed by people who've learned to take Sabbaths and be with each other in real ways. You know, I'm inspired by young people who are actually taking time to be with each other again. You know, it's a problem for the tech industry in general if people spend time with each other.
And not looking at screen.
Right.
Buying, like just...
Right. It's hard to monetize lovemaking, right? It's hard to monetize, unless there's a lot of disease, you know, it's hard to monetize friends dancing together, you know, but that's what people are, desperately hoping for, is these non-commoditized spaces, is things like church used to be. You know, I'm not a futurist. I think there is still a possibility for us to be alive and talking and healthy in 30 years. It's I think as simple as, if you spend time with other people rather than further fueling these systems of extractions, if you learn simple tactics of mutual aid where you feel you have the courage to borrow something from your neighbor rather than buy one, right? If you need to use a drill, do you go to Home Depot and buy a drill, or can you knock on the neighbor? You're only going to use the drill once and then stick it in the garage and never see it again. If you don't buy the drill, but instead borrow the drill, you initiate a chain of events. Now you've borrowed something from your neighbor. Now your neighbor knows they could borrow something from you. You might even become friends. You might spend time together rather than driving somewhere far away to do some entertainment experience that costs money. You might then meet someone else on your block, and then your whole block is starting to do things together. Now the problem with this, and I get it, if people are borrowing things from each other, they're buying less things.
Yeah.
And then what happens to the Home Depot? What happens to the drill company? Well, they don't need everybody working as many days. So are they okay with letting people work 3-4 days a week instead of 5 days a week? Are we okay slowing down? And what would that look like? You know, so I also want to help teach people how to have businesses. And it sounds crazy. How can you have businesses that stay profitable no matter what size they are? Oh, everybody has their own way of being on Team Human. It's just remembering that being human is a team sport. You know, that it's something you do together. So in any opportunity, find out how to find and support the others. Where's the other ones? You know, every moment that you feel alone, every moment you feel in competition with other people, you realize that's one way of looking at things. You can also look at everything you're doing as an opportunity to collaborate with others, support others, engage with others. And the more you do that, the more prosperous you'll be. It's actually more prosperous, not less. That's the trap people have fallen into, is a very narrow view of capitalism that says that you are individuals competing against each other to win the scarce resources, rather than you are a collaboration of people, cooperative of people, collaborating together to share bountiful resources.